I thought I'd be extremely nervous on stage today, and guess what? Of course I am, but a little less, because I don't have to see you guys. Some merits of being blind. But hello everyone, I'm Roshni, and I'm standing on stage wearing a blackish maroon sari, and I have jhumkas and a necklace, and my hair are fully left open. And a few of you here might be wondering, why is she describing her outfit while most of us can clearly see it? Well, being blind myself, I would definitely want to make sure that I'm trying to be inclusive towards most people in the audience.
I'm here not just to talk about the anecdotes, but yes, to share a story which makes an impact and makes an understanding around the world. I want to start with something unusual. For the next few seconds, notice how much you rely on sound, voices, movement, applause. I don't hear any of it. I am deaf. But today, I'm not here to talk about silence. I'm here to talk about listening.
Let me share an anecdote with you guys. With student mixers on university campuses, the organizers, Chanakyas that they are, use this one magical phrase: free snacks available while marketing an event. Well, this is what leads to the crowd pouring in for those events. But guess what? Being blind, that promise of free snacks is also not an assured ROI for the efforts you might have to put in to drag yourself there, because in all that crowd, you will be sitting in some corner all alone and would never get to know when the snacks arrive, where they are kept, and when they are going to disappear. And odds are, unless you're with a friend, there might be nobody who might probably help you get the snacks, considering the rush that they will be in to get snacks for themselves before it disappears. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not blaming them for being unkind. This happens not because people are unkind, but majorly because none of us have really thought about it.
When moments like that happen, we often assume the person doesn't fit. But maybe the real question is, did the space ever try to include them? Most people think listening means using your ears, right? But listening is not about ears, it's about attention. It's about respect and the willingness to understand someone different from you. When society doesn't listen, it doesn't just ignore people. It ignores ideas, potentials, leadership. The world loses more than it realizes. I've seen this in my own life. I have ideas that were overlooked. Not because they lacked value, but because they weren't communicated in the expected way.
Let me share a very personal story from my childhood. As a child in school, I would always be asked to sit slightly away from all my classmates on a chair. Well, the intention here was clearly care, but this care turned out to be exclusion. And this is where I wonder, does helping someone really mean making them feel that they belong? And this happens in classrooms as well. There's a lot of visual content we watch, a lot of documentaries that we watch. And of course, audio description is not available. But for how long can we just sit and keep blaming the systems for this, even though it is a systemic problem?
Let me show you what this looks like. In classrooms, teachers speak while writing on the board. In online spaces, there are no captions. In meetings, people talk over each other. And in interviews, communication is judged more than thinking because the interviewer always thinks how the deaf person will do, how we will communicate with the deaf person. So when deaf people struggle, society simply says they don't fit. But the truth is different. These spaces never learn how to listen and how to ensure the accessibility.
And the truth still remains that despite the fact that there are so many people in a classroom, more often than not, it does not occur to even one person that they have a visually impaired peer who might benefit from somebody sitting next to them and describing the visual content that they see. And this is where I think accessibility is more of a human problem than simply a systemic issue. And then there are those everyday moments as well. Think about this. Someone pulls out their phone, shows an Instagram post, and everybody is starting to laugh. And I'm still sitting there, still a part of the group, but no longer a part of the moment.
And this is not just about deaf people. It happens to anyone who doesn't fit the default system. Different language, different background, different way of thinking. When system don't listen, the talent becomes invisible. Growing up deaf, I experienced this again and again. Sitting in classrooms, watching conversations move forward without ever including me. I had ideas, I had opinions, I had things to say, but they weren't heard. Not because they lacked value, but because they didn't come in the expected way. People trust what they can hear easily. And often they don't wait long enough to understand what comes differently. Not because I lacked ability, but because the system is lacking flexibility. And standing here today, between the two of us, one cannot hear, one cannot see, but both of us have experienced the same thing. Being left out of moments that were never designed for us, that never thought for us.
But here's what. Sometimes people do the smallest and the simplest things, and that makes me feel really belong. For example, describing the sunset or a signboard or just a random moment while we are taking a walk together. For instance, amongst some of my closest friends on campus who are probably sitting in the audience, already making mental notes of what to tease me about after this talk, is one of my friends whom if I go to and ask her to guide me to a place on campus I'm familiar to, would simply ask me to get on my own. But the same person would herself give me a video call if she's aware that I'm supposed to navigate a path which is unfamiliar to me or I might find difficult navigating, and will make sure I reach my destination safely. It is moments like these that really make a lot of difference.
And something powerful happens when people choose to listen differently, when they slow down, when they adapt, when they make small, thoughtful changes. Suddenly, everything changes. Conversations become clearer. Confidence grows. Ideas come forward. The person didn't change, but yes, the environment did.
I believe inclusion is not about big changes. But in my opinion, inclusion is about those small moments where someone actually pauses and thinks, was everyone a part of it?
So today, I want to leave you with one thought. Listening is not about sound, it's about attention. And the next time you meet someone different from you, before you decide they are not capable, ask yourself just one question. Did I really listen?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is the waving hands for the deaf people. That's how you applaud.